Hello, everyone, and a happy Friday to you once again. I'm Jason Mackey. I'm flying solo on this one. Didn't plan to talk to you later today, but we're going to do it. We have to do it. Have to react to some news. Tristan Jarry is now an Edmonton Oiler, along with Sam Poulin. Coming back to the Penguins, Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, he's a defenseman, and a 2029 second-round draft pick. So I want to react to that a little bit here in this space. Number one, good on Kyle Dubas. It's the right move. It might be hard. I don't know how this is going to play in the dressing room. I'll be heading up to practice very shortly and get the reaction from up there. But you know what? I don't care. It's a smart business by Kyle Dubas, and also to strike now. The Edmonton Oilers, they've made the past two Stanley Cup finals, a very good team. Their weakness has been goaltending. They have the second worst save percentage in the NHL. Tristan Jarry, the way he's played this season, he addresses a need in a big way. It was Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard. They've been their two goaltenders used. And the Oilers obviously have, there's a lot of pressure in Edmonton, right? With Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and their Achilles heel has been goaltending. Can Tristan Jarry solve it? We'll find out. Tristan Jarry, objectively, has been really good this season. I was finding myself thinking about this a little bit this morning. Can you imagine that this deal was even possible? You know, and what I was thinking about was just creating this scenario where you have maybe to trade him, to not trade him, based on the return, based on the timing, and all that stuff. And a major credit to Tristan Jarry for what he's been able to do. He's had a really, really good season. I was looking at a stat a little bit ago, an .888 high danger save percentage. Not only is that the best of Jarry's career, it's the second best in the entire NHL among goaltenders who have played at least 600 minutes. So again, the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to give up some high danger chances, but they're getting a goaltender who's really stopped them pretty handily in Tristan Jarry. And for the Penguins, the NHL pieces matter a little bit. It's not to dismiss Stuart Skinner or Brett Kulak. They've been good players. They've played in playoff games, a lot more so than people on the Penguins roster, obviously not including 87, 71, 58, 65, that whole thing. But, they bring some good experience. I like what they did bringing Skinner back. I think this was a really smart piece of the deal by Kyle Dubas, because the immediate reaction, it should be somewhat of a changing of the guard. Sergei Murashov, he's coming off a 34 save shutout in the American Hockey League, leads the AHL in goals against average and save percentage. He's their guy of the future. He is very, very good, very, very mature. I don't have any doubt that Sergei Murashov is eventually going to figure this out. But having Stuart Skinner here for the time being, it allows you to make that move when you want to, not when you have to. And so we'll see. I'm going to go up to practice. It's probably going to be Artur Shilovs and maybe Mike Chason. I don't know. I very much doubt that this has happened already, but I think it was a smart bit of insurance for Kyle Dubas to have coming back. We'll see where Kulak fits. I don't think it's the worst thing to have some depth on defense. It will open things up for the Penguins if they want to move somebody. They certainly don't have to force anything. Maybe you can find a taker for Ryan Graves. I don't know. That's kind of down the line. But Kulak has done some decent things. He's a total pro of a defenseman. He's played for the Canadiens, the Oilers, the Flames, played parts of 12 seasons, put up some decent numbers, had a little bit of offense to his game, but it's fine. It's going to allow the Penguins to spend that money in the future differently. And I think Jarry had 2 more years on his contract, paying him, I think, $5.375 million. And if Murashov is your goaltender of the future, which I said earlier, he is, it is smart business to move the starter out regardless of where you're at in the season. What Kyle Dubas is doing is getting something back. And they also got a 2029 second round pick, which I talked about. And they continue to stockpile draft picks, and that's important. Not getting away from that. But you are getting something for an asset and then turning things over to the guy that is going to be in charge of your net, hopefully for the next 10 or 15 years. And that's what Sergei Murashov looks like. And you're also not painting yourself into a corner where you have to do that. So I give Kyle Dubas, this was sort of my thesis at the top of this thing, a lot of credit for doing it now. I also think it was somewhat strategic, given how well Jarry has played. He's 9-3-1 with a .266 goals against average, a .909 save percentage. It's just been, if you look at their strong start, Tristan Jarry's been a huge reason for it. He's been steady. He's been that type of goalie who I know in the past when I've looked at Tristan Jarry, he's in bad Jarry. He's back in his net. He's tentative. He's been out at the top of his crease. He's been challenging things. He's actually been more aggressive with his puck handles. I feel like that's been a part of Jarry's game that maybe isn't talked about as much, but is always sound. And yes, I know the hiccup against the Islanders a number of years ago. He still handles the puck very well, and it's generally a tell when he's confident. Just the aura around Jarry. I talked to him in Dallas. They had a practice at Star Center Farmers Branch. Anyway, Jarry in the past could be kind of evasive with media. He hasn't been that at all. He's been really good. He's been friendly. He's been seemingly having a very good time, at peace with where he's at. I brought that up to Jarry, although he denied it. Talked about, I feel like I'm always that way. Regardless, he's played really, really well. I don't know if I have a magic explanation for why Tristan Jarry has played the way he has, but I know it's looked really good. I know it's been a big part of the Penguins' success. I think the Oilers are smart for trying to bring Tristan Jarry in there. And by the way, just another personal experience. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but Tristan Jarry lives in Edmonton. He's like a celebrity in Edmonton. As you guys probably know, junior hockey in Canada is very, very big. And so he won the Memorial Cup in 2014 with the Edmonton Oil Kings. And so you go to Edmonton. I was there. This was actually the first time in their new building. I think it's Rogers Arena, Rogers Place, one of the two. One is Rogers Place, one is Rogers Arena, but it's that in Vancouver. Anyway, you go to Edmonton's new building. And I remember what the room looked like, and Tristan Jarry getting swarmed by Edmonton media. They just love him. It's like a celebrity up there. But anyway, it can be a tough place to play too. There's a lot of discontent, a lot of, we haven't reached that level with the Edmonton Oilers, need to be better. And Tristan Jarry, the guy who has certainly has his share of struggles here, is going to be the guy, the person they gave up. I would say a decent amount to get. I don't think they overpaid. I thought it was a pretty fair deal on both sides, but I'm fascinated for the theater to see if Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, that whole group, you come up short twice in the Stanley Cup final, and where you going for help? You're knocking on Tristan Jarry's door. By the way, a weird thing about the trade. Edmonton's here on Tuesday night, and it's not like Tristan Jarry can just hang around the building and walk down the hall. They have back-to-backs. I think it's in Toronto, in Montreal on Saturday and Sunday. But Tristan Jarry will definitely spend an off day on Monday in Pittsburgh as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. It's probably going to be a little bit weird. I'm guessing he has somewhere to stay. But anyway, the Oilers play here on Tuesday night. So the reunion game with Tristan Jarry will happen very soon. But all in all, this was a trade that a lot of us expected. I can't say that I expected it on December 12th. It's a little bit earlier than I thought, but at the same time, it makes a ton of sense. And if you're Kyle Dubas, you're smart to pounce on it now. Who knows if Jarry's performance would revert back another way? You have the Edmonton Oilers clearly desperate. I think I've not seen this confirmed, but I'd be willing to bet, because this was their previous ask about not taking back money. Edmonton takes on the whole salary. They get a couple pieces that will help them, meaning the Penguins. And there's also a timing aspect to this that I think is pretty smart, in that if you let this go a little bit longer, the Penguins could be in contention. And I know they're in contention now, but if you get to January, let's say they tried to make this move mid to late January, something like that, that might be a really tough one to sell in the dressing room. I mean, right now you've lost 3 in a row. You can kind of see that this move is necessary, at least long-term. Kind of stinks now. I would imagine some people are frustrated by it at this moment, but you've got a young kid. You've got a goaltender in Skinner who's played a lot, and you basically say, we're going to see where this goes. Maybe you go to Murashov. I don't know what direction they're going to go. I don't think there's a wrong move here. If you want to allow Skinner a little bit of time to get confident, comfortable in Pittsburgh, I think that's a good thing. But I mean, long-term, it's going to be Sergei Murashov. So you made the move now, allow people to get comfortable. If the Penguins are still able to compete, that's great. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And you've got a guy who's played in the playoffs quite a bit, or you've got a young guy who's very much mature beyond his years. So, all right, let's hope we don't have another trade and that you don't see me again, although I won't mind seeing you. I'm going to head up the Cranberry right now and get some reaction to this. The Penguins practice at noon. Thanks so much for watching us. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of this content and so much more from our Post-Gazette Northford Drive podcast and YouTube channels. Try this again. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.